technicals, we seem to be making a habit of this, so let's just make another one in terms of what's going on. And once again, not financial advice, but kind of what we possibly expected, right? We said that there was possibly a positive start to tomorrow, and it would be followed through with, a down, going further down. Now, I expected that there was a chance that we, in fact, may go even further than this and make our way to 369. And so this leaves me at a little bit of a pause, right? Because if you look at the 1 day, right, we started up here and then we moved up and then came back down. So it's almost like nothing happened, right? That was like almost like a nothing day. And the reason why that's important is because on one hand, we have this channel that we seem to be following. And you can see even we broke it just a smidge, and in post-market, it's already within the channel again. Although, once again, post-market maybe is not the best thing to analyze. And so if you look at these channels, you can see, when they break, they go for a few days, right? This one broke the 24th of February around there. Maybe the 25th was the start. And then it went until maybe the 26th. So it only went 2 days. And then same thing here. It didn't go for long. This one went for longer. So does that mean that this one on the uptrend will go for longer and kind of match and mirror, just like these kind of have been matching and mirroring each other? Is that a possibility? Is that what we're going to see? Or is this just a short kind of bounce, I suppose, before the way down to 369, like we've kind of been talking about? I will say it is oddly scary from my perspective that if you watched, hopefully you've been following, but if you watched the Thursday, we mentioned that Friday would be a down, that Thursday was going to be the down day and Friday was going to be an up day, and I had kind of predicted we would end around our line, this really important 381 line, and look what happened today. We went up, and yet we rubber banded right back over here. We stretched right back down, almost touching that line. And so on one hand, it's support. On the other hand, it makes me very nervous to be so close to that support line because not so long ago, it's resistance as well. So what's going to happen tomorrow? Well, once again, conflicting kind of views, and this is even worse than it was yesterday, right? Yesterday, I'd kind of predicted that there was a chance we'd have a bump up in the morning, but we'd move down. I thought further down, but now I'm really 50-50. I really have no idea exactly what's going to happen because right now we're at this really crucial line, which on one hand is support, on one hand we're in this channel, so that is actually a really good sign, and we have not, and this is really important. If we look at the 1 year chart, let's just take away some of these drawings, we have not crossed this 50-day moving average, and that's really important because Thursday we had crossed it, Friday we came up above it. Now what I really wanted to see today was, if you wanted the things to continue and be certain that we're going in one direction, it would be good to have an up day that ended, and this is really important, that ended above the previous day. Then we would have had confirmation that we were really staying above this 50-day moving average. Right now, I wouldn't call it a doji exactly because you can see we went up and down and we stayed down. So not quite a doji, not quite indecision. But if you look at the previous days in terms of how far things can move, based on the previous days, it was almost like a walk in the park. Although I'm sure it was not for many people. There were quite a few stocks that moved quite considerably. And so what is going on tomorrow? Well, this still sets us up for that kind of Thursday view that we're at that 381 level. That was really important. The next one was around 370, 369, just around here. You can see we touched off of it support-wise. And so are we going to come back down and retest that? We didn't quite reach that far over here. Does it count? I don't know. Maybe not. So I could really see us coming down. And either what's going to happen in terms of the market is either we're going to tomorrow come down a little bit and then the next day finish off down there and then bounce back up and maybe have a green day by the time it's done by Wednesday. And I would actually prefer that green day to finish above the 50-day moving average, but probably not. We'll see what happens. So that's definitely a possibility. If we go down, are we going to take 1 day to just hit that 369 and then come back up? Or is it going to be a 2-day kind of venture, or I should really say 1.5? That's really my question if we're going down. And if we're going up, well, you already saw we have those trend lines or trend channels that will kind of give us that heading in that direction. And there is quite a bull case, and that's why I am really uncertain. technically we still have the trend downwards. We're still kind of trending downward, though you can see the buying pressure picked up, the selling pressure went away. And you can see in terms of the oversold, we're not really oversold. So we could easily come and have a down day, or we could easily move up. There's a lot of room. There's a lot of wiggle room both ways. And so right now I have a lot of personal indecision, and I'm not even sure I want to lean one way. I'm not sure I even want to take a position in terms of what I'm going to happen, what I think is going to happen. Just because this channel really might be something that we're going to be following on our way up. And it's really hard for me to tell exactly what in the world is going on with the stock market right now. In terms of the 10-year, well, we pretty much had no action. And this is really important. I saw some people talking about, how the 10-year is no longer going to affect the stock market, and they've separated a little bit. I don't want to name names, but I'm not so sure that's what's going on. I think what the stock market reacted to was, look at this, how vertical this day got. And then, I guess this was Thursday, how vertical once again this had gone, and it ended up there. Here it went vertical, at least it came back down. Thursday, it went up and stayed up. And I think the market got scared by how fast, not just that we're at 1.6, because if you look at the 1 year, or sorry, look at the 5 year, maybe we got to go back a little bit further. This is not, this is during the pandemic, the whole last year. Well, this is pre-pandemic. That's not so crazy, especially if people keep claiming that we're moving out of the pandemic. I don't know if that's really true, but, we can always hope. But anyway, the point is that it moves so fast in 1 day. Each one of these bars is 1 day right now. We're looking at the 1 year. And today we just had a doji, and my guess is that this blue line, this exponential 10-day average, moving average can catch up. It's moved too fast, and either this is going to come back down, or it's just going to kind of doji, kind of not move so fast, because we had moved quite far, quite fast. So that's actually kind of a good sign for the S&P 500, for the stock market, if we don't keep moving up, or if this comes down. That being said, this thing has been moving quite a bit. And so once again, there's only a slight leaning that the 10-year might not move, but who knows? Just, someone speaks, someone does something, this thing can just bounce easily based off of the wrong tip. So what's going to happen in terms of the S&P 500? Oh, gosh, I have no idea. Being right down at 381, that is, from my perspective, a really, really, really tough area. Now, in terms of the heads and shoulder situation, there's a lot of volume over here, and there was a lot of volume presumably at the beginning of the day as well. And so to me, that's, I don't know, that to me shows that if we move up to and can keep this volume, sustain this volume, if we move up, then it's probably not a head and shoulders pattern, because this first high, then the second high had less volume than this first high, right? There was a lot more confidence, I suppose, in this high than in this high. But now, when we're coming up to a similar high, like the left shoulder, we're getting more volume, we're getting more confidence, we're getting, right, a pickup in buyers, fewer sellers. That's kind of what you want to see if you want to break that head and shoulders pattern, I suppose. Anything can still happen. We're not quite at the end of that pattern, as far as I can tell anyway. But that's a good update, as far as I can tell. That's at least a positive sign that I'd be willing to say that once again I lean towards, because we're still a little bit early. Now, in terms of Tesla, for example, what happened here? So let's put back on our indicators. So you can see we kind of have this general channel that's been forming for quite some time. And if we zoom into the 1 month, we kind of had this channel within a channel, right? I was going down within this channel, then we broke out and back into this, I guess, longer kind of negative trend, right? This shorter, quicker move down was just within, that's how I would classify it, almost within the general downward trend. So not a great sign for Tesla either way. But today I would have liked to have seen, and I kind of expected the chance of us actually moving further up in the channel. And that's not what we saw. We're now kind of in between both channels. And so what's going to happen? Are we going to bounce down? Now, this channel, because it's so steeply inclined, the longer it takes for us to move towards it, the further away it'll be. And the harder it will be to, right, if I just extend this, for example, like that, it'll be further. If, by tomorrow, it'll have to go down much further. doesn't say it can't. It just means it's slightly less likely. But like I said, we are between two channels right now, and there's a lot of indecision, I think. And so we'd like to see a little bit more support for Tesla, and we'd like to see this thing go up if we think that it's still within this channel. Who knows? Maybe there's some sort of third magical channel, or maybe I've misdrawn things. I don't know. You let me know what you think's going to happen. Just from the technical perspective. Now, Tesla is very well oversold. We're looking at a low for quite some time, right? It hasn't been this low for a while. And here's the important part, if we keep going lower here in this general negative trend without that bounce up like I had talked about, well, then we're going to cross this area of support, and then it's kind of just a straight move down. And look where that other trend line was kind of pointing us to. I suppose it was just fluke that it drew us this far. But I'm just saying, when we catch back up to it, it's going to be around over here if we jump back into it tomorrow. So, that's around 480. And then that's a very short distance to 400 where, there really is support, I suppose, strong support. But like I said, we're seeing that this red trend is kind of getting to the end. It's at 40. It's exhausting. Doesn't mean it can't go lower. But it's going, we just need some buying support because there's fewer sellers. The sellers dropped off, but so did the buyers. And so we made a move down at the end of the day. And yeah, not a big move down, to be fair. We started up, I don't know. I guess it's all perspective because it's 5%. But we started at 600 and moved down to 563. It's only 40 points, I suppose. But that's not nothing, especially if you own the stock. So I apologize. But so even Tesla's kind of up in the air. A lot of these stocks are that we've been kind of following, just giving our comment on, are up in the air. In terms of Nvidia, that kind of followed the channel. Like I said yesterday, I thought that there was a chance we had room to move up to help support the SPY, and I think if the S&P 500 moved up, it could have moved up in this channel. But no, Nvidia was hurting the S&P 500 today, and it moved down, and there's still room for it to move down, right? There's still room to move. A lot of indecision right now. In terms of, we also spoke about Amazon. In terms of Amazon, similar story. It did move up actually, and you can see it trying to break this trend channel, but it looks like we're kind of on our way down here. Then again, maybe this is just the beginning of breaking this trend. It's hard for me to understand how Amazon is so far down. If someone could let me know what's going on, because at the end of the day, if we look at the 1-year chart and we just take a look at earnings, they beat earnings by quite a lot. Yes, Jeff Bezos stepped down, but maybe it's just my prerogative, and nothing against Jeff Bezos particularly, but we tend to look at CEOs as being so important, and I suppose they're important in a clinch and for general direction of the company. But I wonder how much does a CEO really affect everything besides that general kind of direction, and I'm sure he still will provide that. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Nevertheless, that's kind of my opinion, which pretty much at the end of the day means nothing because I have really no opinion. We have two contra-indicating kind of ideas here. We had a lot of indecision, I think more indecision in the market. Yes, we stayed within the trend channel, but we're at the bottom. We're at the support line. We could easily move down. This would not be so crazy for me, for it to break. Now, me personally, I'm a little bit biased right now to go up so I can buy some more put options, I suppose, but I don't really have an opinion right now. At the end of the day, I have no clue. We're really at two kind of different impasses here in terms of what the market's going to do, and you've seen kind of both arguments, so you let me know what you think is going to happen. I suppose on the short-term technicals, I think it's going to go up. On the kind of longer-term technicals, my opinion from Thursday that I kind of reiterated today quite a bit, yeah, we are still in a negative ADX, right? It's nice that we got some positive buying pressure and the selling pressure went away a little bit, but we're still at a trend. And look at how indecisive this trend indicator is. It's at 20. We had kind of said yesterday that 20 is not such a strong trend. And look, it's curled down. It's gone down. So really, to get out of this trend, all in theory you really need to do is have another good day of buying pressure. The red line will move down. The buying pressure will go above the red line. And you'll be out of this trend, apparently. It'll be a signal that the trend is kind of ended if we get another good day. Now, me personally, I might want a confirming day because, it's pretty easy for this red line to move in and out day by day. But if you really hold strong to some of these trends, I'm just looking at to confirm kind of my attitude and to make sure I don't get too biased one way or the other. But if you really hold by these trends, then you would kind of act based off of when the lines cross each other, in terms of this would be a sell signal, and we haven't really seen the buy signal yet. But anyway, that's just as far as that specific indicator goes. And this day, especially ending within the previous day, I think adds a lot of indecision to the market. And so there are really two strong ways to look at this. And they're both so contraindicator to me, and so strong kind of arguments to me, that I really have no opinion, I suppose. So you let me know what you guys think. Where do you think the market's going? I would really love to know. And what your kind of thoughts are. And yeah, subscribe, like, comment. I really appreciate the support. And once again, we really focus mostly on deep dives in terms of the 10K. And we're gonna, now that I've gotten so much into the technicals, we always used to kind of discuss a little bit of the technicals. We'll discuss it a little bit more from now on, if that's what you guys want to see. Thank you so much.